Reddit Fresh.
Would I be the idiot for skipping my younger sister's graduation because my older estranged sister will be there? My, female 25, younger sister Jenny, female 18, graduates next week. Even if we were never really close, I was looking forward to seeing her cross the stage into the next chapter of her life. It's no secret that she comes to me if she needs something, and I guess part of me thought she would grow out of it. 2 years ago, my older sister Becca, female 28, was out of work and stayed with me for 6 months while she got on her feet. I bought her clothes, stocked the house with essentials and food, and paid whenever we went out together. After several more months of excuses on why she couldn't find a job, I told her it was time for her to move. A few days after our conversation, she stole $1,000 I kept hidden in my closet and left. My dad convinced me not to file a police report and offered to pay back what she took. I told him I didn't understand why he was cleaning up after her, and he said he didn't want to see his kids fight, and if it was about the money, then he would pay me so I could move on. I didn't take his money and stopped talking to him for a few months. Jenny has always had a stronger relationship with Becca and never officially denounced what Becca did. Dad and I have talked here and there the last few months, and he invited me to Jenny's graduation. He really wants me to go and sounds excited. While talking about the time and place, he mentioned that Becca would be there. I don't want to be in the same room as her, and even if I sat on the other side of the stadium, my stomach turns just knowing Dad and Jenny want her there. Would I be the idiot if I don't attend Jenny's graduation because her and Dad prefer my thief sister over me? No idiots here out of you and Jenny, which is what I think your question is asking. My heart breaks for you both in this scenario. Becca and your dad are AHs. You need to reassure Jenny that you are proud of her and really want to share this day with her, but that you simply can't put yourself through being near Becca after what she did. Perhaps you can take Jenny out for dinner to celebrate her graduation instead. Not the idiot. Becca used you for everything she could get, and when you told her to leave, the thank you she gives you is to steal from you. It sounds like Jenny has started the trend of using you also, especially if the only time she gets in contact with you is because she needs something. I am confused about why you want to be around Dad, the enabler, and the two sisters who are users. I can see why you stated that Jenny and Becca are close based on the description you provided. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for making my pregnant wife get up at 3 a.m.? I, male 33, have a 6-month pregnant wife, female 33, and kid, 1.5 m. I work 5 days a week and my wife works part-time, 2 days with the kid and 3 days at work while the kid is in childcare. I put the kid to bed every night and put him back to sleep if he gets up in the middle of the night. We used to split the week on who would get up to settle him if he woke up during the night, as it used to be very frequent. However, I've been sleep training him for the past couple months, and happily his wake-ups are rare now. He almost always gets himself back to sleep in 5 minutes if he wakes up now, only can't get back to sleep if, for example, he's teething and in pain, so I've been doing all the nights if he gets up. Wife being pregnant and super tired, just in 3rd trimester now, I decided to keep the arrangement of getting up and settling him in the night if he can't do it himself. This week, however, I've been super busy at work preparing a conference that took place last night. This kind of conference happens once a year where I'm so involved. So the night before last, day before the conference, I asked my wife to take him if he woke up in the night so I could be rested for the big day, and all was fine. Last night, I came home around midnight after the all-day conference, having had a few drinks. I wasn't drunk, but very tipsy. Wife and I chatted about our days while I put my suit away and went to bed. Kid got up at 3 a.m. last night and wouldn't settle himself. As I was tired from the all-day conference and still feeling the alcohol, I asked my wife to get him. Apparently he was up for an hour. In the morning she called me an AH for not getting him in the night and making her get up instead. She said she was also tired from being pregnant and both dropping him off and picking him up from childcare this week. We usually split it, but I've been in the office early and late this last week. So, am I the idiot for making my wife get up instead of doing it myself? No idiots here. This was just a perfect storm of two tired people dealing with a situation where you're both depleted and not at your best. Unless it's a conflict that happens frequently, I'd personally just chalk it up to both of you being moody and spent after a long conference and growing a person. You're the idiot. But only a little. The issue here isn't the conference. It's the second night when you came home very tipsy. Which, by the way, is drunk. Not belligerent, but drunk. Clearly, it affected your abilities. When your spouse comes home unexpectedly tipsy to the point where they can't complete their household tasks, it's frustrating. You sound like a great dad, and it sounds like you have a great relationship with your wife. My guess is this has already blown over anyway, or will by tomorrow. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for using the shower outside of its curfew and waking up my flatmate? Background: I live with 4 other people in a flat share. There is one bathroom shared between us. The flatmate who lives in the bedroom next to the shower complained about the noise it makes and has set a rule saying we aren't allowed to use the shower outside the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. The other morning, I got up at 6 a.m. to shower before catching a flight to a work conference. I was too busy preparing my speech and didn't think to inform my flatmate that I'd be using the shower early. I got off the flight to a bunch of angry messages from my flatmate berating me for showering before 7 a.m. As I was rushing to the conference venue, I was quite short and explained I had an early flight, didn't have time to freshen up before my important speech, and that it was a once-off occurrence. I also suggested that earplugs could help with the noise. My other flatmates then jumped into the chat, also scolding me for breaking this rule, and said I should have informed the flatmate I woke up. Am I the idiot for not telling my flatmate about my early shower? Update: wow, I did not expect my first Am I the Idiot post to pop off like this. Thank you for your input. We had a house meeting tonight and I brought up my thoughts about the situation and how it made me feel. I brought up the subject of earplugs again, and the shower housemate said she can't wear them because she listens to meditation whale music to sleep. When I questioned whether the rule would also apply to her, she said no, she wouldn't be using the shower because she's in bed from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every night without fail. I apologized for my lack of foresight, politely informed her that she's got no right to impose her impossibly rigid routine onto strangers, and told her she was being entitled. She stormed off in a tantrum, slamming a door. Fingers crossed this child moves out soon. Not the idiot. It's not like you just got up early for fun and took a shower for no reason. Does this flatmate share a wall with the bathroom plumbing or something? Do you drop the shampoo bottle 8 times while showering? To me, the sound of someone showering is just what life sounds like. It's not unusually loud. You're the idiot. You agreed to the rule. You should at the very least inform them you'll need to use it earlier so that they can prepare for the noise. You say you didn't have time to tell them, but I doubt you got the speech and flight scheduled from one day to the next. You could have told them in advance. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for eating a prep meal in my car before going into a restaurant with my girlfriend because of my strict diet? Over the last couple of years, I have lost nearly 80 pounds through extreme dedication to dieting and exercise. It's been a life-changing journey for me. The journey started when my doctors warned me about my poor cardiovascular health because of my unhealthy eating habits and lifestyle. With 30 right around the corner, I couldn't keep being the man I was before. It was a significant wake-up call. I tried immediately just focusing on going hard in the gym, but I tried lifting weights without eating properly and pretty much fried my CNS during deadlifts, causing me to pass out at the gym. It scared the hell out of me. Since then, I've taken my health incredibly seriously. I prepare all my meals, and they are calculated to meet my nutritional needs for the day and keep a caloric deficit to have me on track for losing weight. I've avoided eating out at all costs, as it feels like a slippery slope back to my old habits. For me, restaurants are like relapsing on a drug. One bite of a cheesesteak egg roll and I'm buying Oreos on the way home and falling off the wagon. My girlfriend has been supportive of my health journey but hasn't joined me. She still cooks and eats as she did before, which is a lot of food covered in fats and sugars with a lot of calories. I'm appreciative of her cooking, but I can't eat the meals she makes most of the time. It's been a bit of a strain on our relationship, but we've managed. So, boom. The conflict arose on our anniversary last month. She wanted to go out to a fancy restaurant to celebrate. And I wanted to make the night special as well, and I agreed to go. I even made sure I had calories left over to have drinks with dinner. However, I didn't want to break my diet and decided to bring a prep meal to eat in the car before we went in. She discovered what I was doing and got really upset. She called me an idiot for not putting aside my diet for one night, saying I cared more about my food intake than about our special day. She said that I was being selfish and that I should have been more considerate of her feelings since it's our anniversary. I feel conflicted. On one hand, I understand where she's coming from, and I didn't mean to upset her. On the other hand, I've worked really hard to improve my health, and I'm scared of falling back into old habits. You're the idiot to yourself more than anything. You have an extremely unhealthy relationship with food. You think your diet is helping you, but it sounds more like you have an eating disorder. One nice meal and years of taking care of yourself will not disrupt your diet. If it would, then you are very unhealthy mentally. Do you go to a therapist or dietitian? Not the idiot. These responses make me feel you can't win. You know your body and your reactions best. If you know eating restaurant food will kickstart a process that ends in Oreos and binges, then you did the right thing. People saying you shouldn't have gone to the restaurants then, your girlfriend wanted to go there, and I have a feeling if you had said no, let's do something else, she'd be upset. Everything ends with her upset, and all these people being upset with you too is super unfair. Seriously. Not the idiot. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not telling my cousin that her fiancé was my summer camp fling for 3 years? I grew up very close to my cousin and we've stayed close as can be but live in different states. During my summers for several years, I went to a month-long camp where first year I was camper, next year CIT, then counselor. First year I met Kenny and it was instant soul-crushing love where he was literally all I thought about for a year. Next year we actually dated, within the confines of being CIT, so we were very busy, and third year we actually found a way to essentially live together and talked about coordinating colleges, getting engaged, kids' names, and all that kind of stuff. We drifted apart but would still text, and to be honest, I kind of always hoped we'd find ourselves back to each other. I didn't know that my cousin and Kenny went to the same school and had the same major, so I wasn't surprised when they started dating. As near as I can surmise, I knew about Kenny dating her, but he did not know that she was my cousin. So I've known about them for about a year, but I didn't want to interrupt her being happy, and the opportunity to tell her never came up. Whole family met Kenny over Mother's Day. I knew he was coming, so I tried very hard to stay low-key. My mom is so obnoxious that when Kenny arrived, she basically screamed, "You look just like that little boy that Vivi had plastered all over the wall. Is your name Kenny?" He said yes, and he clearly wanted to crawl into a hole, as did I. We said our hellos and nice to see you again, but it was very awkward. Little gathering was fine and I'd avoided him for the most part. At about 9 the next morning my cousin called me, and she was both hungover and drunk and furious at me that I didn't tell her. I guess he spilled the beans and told her how serious we were. She feels very betrayed by me that I'd allowed her to get so invested in a guy with whom I had a pregnancy scare. For some reason this really stuck under the skin. I tried to explain, but she is having none of it. I tried to call Kenny to see what I can do, and it appears he blocked me. I feel awful that she's hurt. I made a choice about what to reveal to her, but I guess I made the wrong one. Am I the idiot? Day 2 edit. This blew up even more than I can imagine. Someone even told me it's going around TikTok. I can't find it if so. I did get a short ban from sharing too much personal information, so it's deserved. The update most of you are looking for is that my cousin has called off her engagement to Kenny. I had a very short talk with her last night, and she's going to drive home this weekend, and we are going to meet and go out for drinks. She said there was a lot more that was bothering her, and this was the final nail that she would never be able to get past. I'm also so curious to talk to her because now she knows the guy who I thought was my Mr. Big way better than ever did, and maybe I can come to know more about him than then guy from camp I've been utterly and hopelessly infatuated with for all of my teen years and short adult life. Maybe I can get some closure too. I don't think updates are allowed here, so if there is a subreddit that allows updates post, can someone point me in the right direction? If people are interested, of course. You're the idiot. You basically set up the situation to be as awkward and public as possible. You should have told your cousin from the beginning that he was your ex, not to rain on her parade or to get him back, but so she had all the relevant facts. You blindsided her, him, and your family by not sharing. You're the idiot. A past fling who is now involved with a family member or friend by chance is one thing, it's just history. However, based on your further comments, you knew about this and never gave your cousin or even Kenny a heads up. You've also admitted that you kept this quiet predominantly because you still have feelings for him. Did you purposely do this imagining that she may be hurt enough to break up with him? Edit. It wasn't even a fling. It was a 3-year relationship and a potential engagement.